All right, we're going to turn to the other big story today, that growing unrest in Minneapolis. And we're going to bring in former DHS senior advisor, NEWSMAX contributor and author of Terrorists on the Border and in Our Country, Charles Marino, along with former NYPD detective and host of Pat Brosnan Live from the Batcave. Pat Brosnan, gentlemen, welcome to you both. There is just really, so much to unpack here as this investigation into the shooting really is just beginning. Video appears to show Alex Preddy checking on a woman who clashed with the federal officers, but it's unclear if Preddy was holding a weapon prior to the shooting. But we do know that he was licensed to carry a firearm. The man's family said that he wasn't holding a gun prior to the shooting, but DHS, well, they shared an image of one. So, Charles, if Preddy did have a gun on him, tell us a little bit about his responsibilities when it comes to concealed carry.
Yeah, and that's an important part of this, and it'll be included, I'm sure, in the investigation. And that is, there is a level of responsibility on the part of the individual that's carrying a firearm, whether concealed or exposed. You have to use sound judgment. And I think here we see sound judgment was not used, especially if this individual planned from the very start, as it appears, to be engaged with law enforcement. I mean, he is operating inside of what's known as a law enforcement operation. And with that, it can turn into obstruction. And I think that's what you're hearing from CBP. And this is the perfect storm. And what this is you've got these local politicians continuing to incite members of the community. And what's going to happen is people are going to listen to them and they're going to exercise poor judgment. And this was the perfect storm for everything to go wrong.
Yeah, and Preddy and federal officers, they scuffled on the ground. Pat, if they discovered that he had a weapon while they were wrestling with him, what does that signal to them? And would that prompt the officers to shoot him?
So, good afternoon, Tracy. In the past 24 hours, I've listened to many people discuss this shooting, but they're academics. They're not field practitioners. The fact is, law enforcement is never, ever pretty. I have personally removed over 500 handguns from the waistbands of bad guys in the South Bronx, and not one time they ever voluntarily surrendered a weapon. Every single time they fight like tigers for control of the gun and for their freedom. The bottom line is this guy was carrying 63 bullets. Those are extended magazines that I see in that picture, and I happen to own that weapon. So he had 3 clips, 1 clip in a gun and 2 others, all of them engineered to carry 21 rounds each. Why would you carry 63 bullets to a protest? It's inconceivable. There's no answer.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Pat. I mean, that's a big question there. We're running out of time, but I quickly want to get to this gentleman. A Chief Patrol Agent of Customs and Border Protection, Greg Bavino, spoke earlier this morning on CNN State of the Union about preserving Americans' true rights as long as they are peaceful. Take a look.
I believe that all citizens of the United States have those First and Fourth Amendment rights as long as they do so peacefully and don't delay, obstruct, or assault anyone in doing that. And that's the issue here, because he was not peacefully doing anything.
All right, quickly, Charles, your reaction to that?
Well, that's right. Look, I think that follows the use of force models of almost every law enforcement department on the face of the earth. You can peacefully protest and you cannot obstruct. But once you cross that line, become violent and obstruct, well, then it takes a different turn.
Yeah, and Pat, your thoughts?
So my advice, Tracy, stands. If you value your life, do not aggressively approach law enforcement while armed. If they reasonably perceive a threat and you fail to immediately disarm, they're legally permitted to use deadly force. They don't have to wait to be shot. Case closed.
All right. Pat Brosnan, Charles Marino, thank you both so very much for your insights today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.